Has the day come when we actually have screens that are not 500 hertz, not 600 hertz, not 700, not even 1000 hertz, but 1700 hertz, with a response time of 0.58 milliseconds? Yes, the day has come. Nvidia recently showed off a headset at GTC that this article is saying could one day find itself into gaming-oriented virtual reality headsets. Now, personally, my computer is right on the minimum settings mark for virtual reality. So I probably won't be getting into any VR anytime soon. However, when I do get into VR, because I do want to do that, I do feel that this would be a great way for me to start, is with an incredibly fast refresh rate monitor. Or, well, not monitor, but screen. So, Nvidia put the screen on some rails and shook it around a bit, basically. And the Nvidia logo stayed stationary. This is because it actually has motion sensors in it that track the screen, so this is made for VR. And for those of you who don't know, current virtual reality headsets have a refresh rate of about 90 hertz. And that is acceptable. That is acceptable. I understand why they didn't go with 30 or even 60 hertz, because 30 hertz is way too low, and people who can have motion sickness will definitely be getting it at 30 hertz. Maybe not so much at 60 hertz, but it can still happen. I've heard things that it can still happen at 90 hertz, but it is extremely uncommon for motion sickness to occur at 90 hertz, and that's why I feel if you're going into virtual reality and you're kind of prone to motion sickness, you want to have you may want to have Crossfire or SLI graphic cards just to make sure that these screens are constantly at 90 hertz and they don't stutter. Well, there's obviously going to be some parts of some games that do stutter, but keep that to a minimum. Another thing that I would recommend, because I know that Valve said something that they were working on this weird type of SLI thing or something, where each graphic card will be given one eye. So each of the graphic cards in your virtual reality headset, or not in the headset, in your computer, my bad, will actually be capable of one screen. And for those of you who don't know, virtual reality works by placing one image in your right eye and then a slightly shifted image in your left eye to give it a more realistic feel, which I think is very great. I have personally not tried any VR headsets apart from like a little setup at a mobile retailer store. I'm not going to give any company names. With the well, I guess I will give company names because screw it. With the Samsung Galaxy S6, I tested the little VR headset that works with that. They had a little game pulled up, and I mean, I don't know the refresh rate. I'm pretty sure since it's a phone, it's 60 hertz. But that VR headset was actually pretty good. Although I don't think, considering how hot the phone was. Now, again, it may not get this hot through standard usage, but it was very hot when I used it, the phone was. So I have a feeling if they remain extremely hot like that, this will not be a good thing for virtual reality. Um, but still, 17,000, or not 17,000, 1,700 hertz is a lot. I mean, I don't know what the maximum our eyes can see is. I mean, I know that's hard to monitor because we don't see life through frames, per se, but so it's really hard to monitor what our refresh rate in our eyes would be. And then there's all these variations between humans. So one person may have 2,000 hertz, the equivalent of 2,000 hertz, and then there's someone else with the equivalent of 10,000 hertz. So it'd be really hard to check. But we often accept 60 frames per second as buttery smooth. And I agree with that. 60 frames per second is very good. And a lot of PC elitists out there have monitors that are 144 hertz, unless they're gaming in 4K, of course, in which case 60 again. Because I don't think there are very many 144 hertz 144 hertz 4K monitors out there right now. And Lubick, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, says that 20 milliseconds of input latency is acceptable for VR, but getting below 10 milliseconds unlocks the power of hyper-fast displays like the one Nvidia has made. Now, this article doesn't go into any specifics, such as the resolution of the screen. Looking at this video they have pulled up here, it looks kind of like a pretty low resolution screen, but I am not complaining. That is actually still very cool that they were able to design a screen with this high of a refresh rate. Honestly, this is just amazing. I don't know where this will take the next generation of VR, because let's face it, we all know that the VR headsets today will not be sticking around for more than like 5 years, because there's going to be there's going to be better screens that they can use, there's going to be better hardware that they can build into the headset itself, better motion tracking, and maybe even hardware will get so good that we can build a gaming PC inside the headset, which I think personally would be just amazing, because then we wouldn't have to have this PC. We wouldn't have to be binded by a bunch of wires. The headset would just have a battery in it, would have a computer in it, and we're given this controller, and then we go through the interface like just wearing the headset. I think that would be a lot better for virtual reality than having to be kind of locked to the length of your wire to your PC. Now, I know that there's going to be wireless options for VR. There's going to definitely be some wireless type of hookup for virtual reality. I do not doubt that. But with how much data I would assume these things have to share between each other, your computer and a virtual reality headset, I honestly don't know how good wireless options for VR will be. And that's why I think this display is amazing. Because if we can put this display in one of the upcoming virtual reality headsets, like, I know that would be practically impossible at this point of development, especially for the HTC Vive, because I do believe that's already out. But the Oculus Rift, it's a lot more plausible, still probably not going to happen, but it is a lot more plausible for the Oculus Rift, since it's still in development, and it probably will be until later in the year. I'm thinking November will be that thing's release date. I don't know. I haven't been keeping up on virtual reality that much, because I just don't want to get into it right now. But later, I most definitely will be getting into virtual reality. And this would be a great place for people to start. Now, I'm going to come out and say it. I don't think virtual reality is going to be successful in gaming the way people think it is. Honestly, I feel that it has much more potential in other fields, such as medical training or something along those lines. Um, Maybe we could use it to train soldiers, put them in really realistic settings, and train soldiers using it. Um, I mean, personally, I honestly don't know where gaming is going to go with VR. I mean, I do know a lot of really cool and unique ideas that are out there right now, but I don't think it's going to be that successful because to me the point of gaming is sitting down at my computer, starting up a game and just relaxing and not getting up and moving around. I mean, I had the Xbox 360 Connect, and apart from its god awful motion tracking, I didn't really like it that much because it kind of destroyed the purpose of gaming for me, which is to sit down and relax with, in the Xbox's case, a controller and just play a video game. But, VR, it has potential, but I don't think it has potential in gaming. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching my video. Be sure to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And I'm Wand Wanderson, checking out.